You've been described by Time magazine as the most powerful woman on the internet. How does that sit with you?
Well, I think there are a lot of powerful women on the internet, but I wish there were more. I think the internet really could use a lot more women. And one of the things that I've tried to do is use the position that I'm in to try to encourage the next generation of girls to think about the internet as a career opportunity and learn the skills so we can have even more women on the internet in the future, and creating the internet and changing the internet and growing and changing our world.
Not only are you a mother of 5, you were employee number 16. You were the first person at Google to take maternity leave. Did it even exist when you took it? Or did you sort of build it?
Well, when I first started, I don't think we even really had an HR department, so it wasn't really clear what my maternity policy should be.
Hey Larry, hey Sergey, I'm going to take a little time off.
Yeah, I think they were very generous. They said, well, why don't you see what's industry standard and do what's industry standard, right? But they didn't know because nobody had ever done it before at the company, and it was definitely a confusing time.
Fast forward, now the company has increased maternity leave from 12 weeks to 18 weeks paid for mothers. Fathers get up to 12 weeks paid.
Yeah. So when we increased our maternity leave to 18 weeks, we saw the number of women who left Google cut by 50%.
That's remarkable.
It really is remarkable, and that was really important for us. We wanted to retain women. We wanted to show them that Google cared, that they could be a mother and they could work at Google. We also give the dads, we give them 12 weeks of leave, and I've heard a lot of really positive feedback on that it was also really important for them to have bonding time with the baby and with the family.
It's one thing to give the time off, especially for dads. It's another thing for them to actually take it and feel like they can take it. Are the men taking it?
They are taking it. They are taking it, and they really benefit from it. I've heard so much positive feedback from Googlers and employees at YouTube who have taken that time.
Now you see a lot of more traditional industries, the consulting, big four consulting firms coming in sort of in lockstep with you guys.
Yeah.
I expect that Wall Street may do to some extent. Why has Silicon Valley led?
I think Silicon Valley has led on this because Silicon Valley at the end of the day is really focused on talent. It's a talent business, getting the right engineers, the right leaders. There's a shortage of getting the skill sets that we need. And Silicon Valley is also focused on having more women, more diversity. And so in an industry that really values talent and values women, offering maternity leave was a great way to retain women and to make sure that they see this as an industry where they can be a parent and then also be a leader. The US and Papua New Guinea are the only 2 countries that do not offer paid maternal leave.
What will the cost, Susan, be to society if America doesn't catch up, frankly, with the rest of the world and do something about this?
Yeah. Well, so I think one of the things that's been interesting is some of the states have actually implemented a paid medical leave program. So California is an example of one. And after they implemented it, they ran a study, and what they saw is the vast majority of all of the respondents say that the business effect was positive to neutral, and they saw increased morale and lower turnover and even more productivity.
Give me your assessment of what parity looks like for women in tech, because we are nowhere near that.
I look at it from where I am, and I see tech as this amazing technology that is changing our world. It's a force that is changing pretty much all parts of our society. And it's really sad for me that we don't have enough women who are part of that. And so I compare this to the revolution where people were able to read and write for the first time. And the printing press, right? I think it is that big in terms of how much our society is being changed. And so, if we went back to when people were first learning to read and write, and we said, only 20% of the people who can write are going to be women, what would our society look like?
You've made the argument that it actually has a material impact on America's competitiveness. Make the case.
I mean, if we look at technology, that is one of the biggest drivers that we have of growth. And so we want to be able to have everybody participate in this, or have the skills to be able to participate in this engine of growth. And if we're not training the next generation, that's a challenge. And so I would recommend that we take computer science and we make it a mandatory skill in high school. Given that everything is moving digital, everything is requiring computers going forward, to give them the digital literacy skills could be so powerful.
When you look over past decades, we had a higher representation of women in tech in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Like when I was born, it was better than it is now.
Yeah.
But there's something fundamentally wrong with that, and you've called for a Sputnik moment.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a theory out there that one of the reasons had to do with in the 1980s that when they introduced the home computer, that for some reason the boys were more likely to play with a home computer, and so they developed a certain amount of expertise. And so the entry-level classes that we now have for computer science assume a certain amount of knowledge. Among my 5 children, which again is like a small data set, but I saw this trend. I saw this trend happen too, and I worked really, really hard to correct it.
Didn't your 10-year-old daughter come home to you and say, like, I hate computers?
Yeah, my daughter came home and said, I hate computers.
Did you almost fall over?
Yeah, and I thought, wow, like I have this problem at work, and now I have this problem at home. And I thought, well, I got to focus on the home, right? I need to make this work. How can I be focused on this externally if I have a problem internally? And so I worked on it, and I initially sent her to this computer camp, and then she came home and she's like, I hate computers even more. And so I was like, wow, this isn't working. This system isn't set up for kids like her to learn how to love the computers and see the advantages. And I think one of the things that I saw that I wish more girls would see is I saw it as really creative. I realized, wow, I can make something and it can be used by millions of people all over the world. And that was really, really exciting to me.
How did you get this job? Were there, helpful men helping push you along the way as well?
I was really lucky in a lot of ways. I worked hard and I stuck with it.
Okay.
It was many, many factors, but I was in the right place at the right time.
Sure.
And again, I stuck with it.
You did rent your garage to Sergey Brin and Larry Page, and they did start Google in your house.
Yes, and that was probably more luck than anything else.
Was it truly because you needed help paying the mortgage?
Yeah, it was truly because I needed help paying the mortgage.
Thank goodness you weren't rich.
No, yeah, it was great. I just graduated from business school. I had to pay for business school, and then I bought a house, which I thought was amazing. I could even afford a house, but I couldn't really afford it, which is why I needed to rent it to somebody. I benefited by having Google's leaders help me and support me to get me to where I am.